What's up, gaming fans? It is Preach as always. So today's video we are going to be going over my initial impressions of the launch of Black Ops 6. Now I want you to keep in mind as we go into this video that my view may be a little bit skewed by the fact that I did have to drive out of town, go to a funeral, and so I was extra tired, maybe a little bit extra stressed this weekend, and that may be going into my view of the game. But nevertheless, I do want to give you my pros, my cons, everything that I think about the game so far in the limited time that I've been able to play. Now, before we jump on into that, if you guys like this video, you already know what to do. Smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new here, and turn those bell notifications on if you want to know every time I post a new video. Now, jumping straight into this, the first pro that I want to discuss is the movement. The movement to me feels fantastic. I think Omni movement is great. We needed some kind of change to movement that was different than the normal slide canceling thing we kind of had going on a little bit since MW19 in different forms and fashion through those games, but that's kind of been the movement. Omni movement gives us something new, something fresh, something different, but to me, it still feels really good, and I thought it felt good in the beta. It feels good in this. Now, sometimes I do think it feels like you're kind of skating on glass a little bit, like you kind of glide more than run. It doesn't feel like there's weight to your movement very much, but it's something I'm getting used to, and I think it actually works just fine. It just isn't maybe necessarily what you're normally used to doing. The other big pro that I want to discuss is that the guns, especially your ARs and SMGs, feel really good. The gunplay feels good. You kind of have that more Infinity Ward style gunplay than Treyarch style gunplay, and while I've always preferred Treyarch games, I will say that they have always felt a little bit more clunky with their guns than the Infinity Ward games do. This doesn't feel clunky with the guns at all, except for with the sniper rifles, which I'm going to get to later in the cons section of this video. But those are my two big pros so far, have been the movement and the overall feel of the gunplay. Now, we're already jumping into the cons of this video, and I know it's a little bit early, but go with me here. Number one con that I want to talk about, this is the worst launch map pool that I can ever remember in the history of Call of Duty. MW 2019 was terrible. I mean, we had Piccadilly Plaza, things like that were just absolutely terrible, or Piccadilly Circus, whatever you want to call that. It definitely was a circus. I could not stand that map. That map and that game, excuse me, had a pretty bad map pool at launch. This one is worse, and I think it's made to feel even more worse by the fact that Treyarch usually has really good maps. So, really, that's a bummer to me. I feel like almost every map in this game is bad. Derelict, which we got to play in the beta, I quite enjoy playing still. Skyline is decent. The map, I forget what it's called already, with the stealth bombers around the map, can be okay. But yeah, really for the most part, these maps are all very bad. They force you, this is something I've later down the list, but I'll go ahead and talk about it now because I'm on the maps. They force you to play at an insanely fast pace, which is great sometimes, and I know people usually like faster paced maps. It's good for weapon grinding and things of that nature, but there's no break because every map is like that. It's like playing small map 24/7 playlist in last year's game. Like, there's no break from this just spawn and people are in your face already kind of gameplay, and I'm not a big fan of that. Now, to go on top of that, when you're playing fast-paced game, time to kill needs to be consistent. I'm not talking about it being too slow, not talking about it being too fast. I'm talking about it being inconsistent, and I know a lot of this is going to be netcode and your internet, the network going on around the game that causes this feeling, but whatever it takes to fix this, sometimes I'll feel like I just barely pulled my trigger and I melted a dude. And then other times it feels like I hear 10 or 11 hit marker sounds and he's still running around. And then the same thing happens to me. Sometimes it feels like I'm taking damage and just tanking it and I can get out of there and re-challenge the gunfight and win. And sometimes it feels like they just pop their head up and I'm already dead and they've not even really shot their gun. And I don't like that inconsistency. Make it fast, make it slow. I prefer slow, but really I don't care either way. I just want it to feel the same every gunfight, barring obviously you know, if somebody's using a one-shot weapon, obviously you're going to die in one shot. But if you have two guys with, you know, the same SMG fighting each other, you got two Jackal players, and it shouldn't feel like one kills the other one faster when they're hitting the same amount of bullets. I don't like the inconsistency there at all. We already talked about pacing. This is something I want to talk about that is not normally a Treyarch problem that I've had a big problem with so far. And this, look, I'm wearing glasses, all right? So maybe this is just a me issue here, but I actually had to go in the color filter settings and turn the enemies, I think it's the Protentopia or however you say it, I had to turn the enemy's color to yellow because the red is blending in with backgrounds to me very bad. Now, I will admit, when I was in high school, the reason I actually had to get glasses is because when they would write on the whiteboard with a red marker, I struggled to see it. So red may be a color that I just have a hard time picking out from a background, and maybe you guys don't have that issue, but you know, for someone like me, that's one thing I did want to throw out there and at least mention in this video, even if that's not something everybody else would have a problem with. I did have to change my color filter, and it made a world of difference. It made it easier for me. It made it a lot easier to pick out people from the background. Now, overall, I'm just going to say this is not really the launch that I was looking forward to. I thought this game was going to be a whole lot better than what it has been, and it just simply has not been very good. Like I said, the maps, all of these other things, but as I mentioned as I opened the video, I did have a lot going on this week. I was very tired, so what I want to promise you guys is that this is not a final review. I'm going to play this game some more and see if it can beat out X-Defiant for me, because right now I feel like playing X-Defiant instead of Black Ops 6. But we're just going to take a step back, blame it on the weekend that I had, having to go to a funeral, having to travel, not getting much sleep, things like that, and we're going to come back and reassess. So if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think about the game so far in the comments section below. Subscribe if you're new here. Turn those bell notifications on if you want to know every time I post a new video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Preach out.
Long day.
Oh, look, an enemy! Scout pole, standing by. Fine, kids. Tango removed. Scout pole available.
Got the lead. Now hold it.
Someone else with a
Hardpoint is active.
You're nothing.
Scout pole available. Boy, fuck with! Remember me?
Hard point action. Hostiles have the hard point.
Hardpoint available.
Hard point is secure. Hard point locked down. Hostiles have the hard point.
Hardpoint standing by.
Hard point is secure. Hostiles have the door. Hard point active.
Sorry, mate. Not this time.
Hostiles have the hard point. Enemy sniper shooting.
Hardpoint